Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into something I know we've all struggled with: actionable, science-backed ways to protect your personal energy from external stressors. Because let's face it, in our noisy, fast-paced world, protecting your energy isn't just some luxury spa day concept. It's an absolute necessity for your survival and your day-to-day well-being. So let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever walked into a room feeling totally fine, but left feeling absolutely, completely exhausted? Or maybe you've just had a 5-minute chat with a coworker and suddenly you feel like a literal heavy weight is pressing down on your shoulders. If you've ever felt like a sponge just absorbing everyone else's stress, trust me, you are not alone. And today we are going to transform you from a sponge into a shield. Now, a lot of us think this kind of exhaustion is just a weakness, right? We tell ourselves, oh, I'm just being too sensitive. But actually, scratch that. It's an adaptive survival strategy. Often this starts in childhood. If tuning into someone else's mood was a matter of safety or belonging for you, well, you naturally developed porous emotional boundaries. So your sensitivity, it's an unprotected asset, not a flaw. It just needs a little bit of fine-tuning so you can actually navigate the world without feeling so drained all the time. What's absolutely fascinating is the actual psychology behind why we feel this drain. It's a phenomenon known as emotional contagion. Basically, it's just automatic, mostly unconscious process of catching another person's emotional state, their anxiety, their sadness, as if it were your own. Through really subtle mimicry of posture, facial expressions, and vocal tone, we literally catch the chaos of others. Our nervous systems are hardwired to co-regulate, which means your body is constantly, actively trying to match the anxious energy of the person standing right in front of you. Wild, right? And this idea actually maps perfectly onto Bowen's theory of self-differentiation. It sounds a bit academic, but it's simply your psychological ability to separate your own thoughts and feelings from the people around you so you can remain autonomous. When you're highly differentiated, you have a clearly defined sense of self, and you can actually think logically during a conflict. But when you're less differentiated, you experience what's called emotional fusion. That's when your emotions depend entirely on the condition of the relationship or just the general mood of the room at any given moment. Here is the absolute crucial takeaway. True self-differentiation allows you to be highly empathetic and care deeply without automatically taking on someone else's anxiety. You can genuinely receive and hear someone's experience without losing the thread of your own. So the goal here isn't to become cold or to stop caring, not at all. It's to care from a calm, regulated, and strongly boundaried place. Okay, so let's move into our first section, in-the-moment energy shields. When you're face-to-face with a major stressor, you need practical tools you can deploy the second an interaction starts heading south. When you're dealing with toxic or manipulative behavior, the gray rock method is going to be your best friend. Usually, our instinct is to engage, argue, or react, right? Which is exactly the reaction those individuals are craving. Instead, you want to gray rock them and detach. You just give short, straightforward, totally non-committal answers to make yourself completely uninteresting. By hiding your emotional reactions, the interaction becomes completely unrewarding for them, and they'll eventually just lose interest. Or, for a more somatic, body-based approach, try what's called the zip-up method. I want you to imagine a physical zipper running from your lower belly all the way up to your chin, and physically use your hand to zip it up. Seriously, try it. This isn't just some visualization, it's a physical anchor. By doing this, you're signaling to your nervous system and your subconscious that your energy field is now closed. It creates a definitive boundary in your brain that literally stops that emotional contagion process right in its tracks. All right, let's look at section 2, establishing firm emotional boundaries. Now that we've got our internal defenses locked down, how do we look outward? Because we really want to prevent this energy drain from happening in the first place, right? Setting boundaries means you have to slowly but consistently verbalize your comfort levels, which ultimately is what protects you from chronic anxiety and feeling taken advantage of. You have to reflect on what you need, build those boundaries up slowly, set them early on in relationships, and above all, be consistent. If your boundaries are too vague, you're probably going to accept unacceptable treatment. But if they're too rigid, you end up keeping people you love at a distance. Finding that healthy middle ground is absolutely key to your mental well-being. But how do you actually say it without feeling completely awkward? Well, assertive I statements are the perfect tool here. They let you clearly express your limits without being confrontational or feeling selfish. The formula is, I feel when, because, what I need is. This lets you express your thoughts confidently. So for example, let's say a coworker keeps interrupting your focus. You could say, I feel overwhelmed when you vent to me during my workday because I can't focus. What I need is for us to catch up on the weekend. Boom. It's clear, it's non-negotiable, and it is incredibly protective. And that brings us to our third and final section, daily energy detox rituals. Look, even with the best shields and the firmest boundaries, some stress is going to slip through. It just is. Think of this next toolkit kind of like brushing your teeth. You wouldn't wait for cavities to start brushing, right? Well, your energy hygiene is no different. The 336 Breathwork Detox is this incredibly powerful somatic ritual. You just inhale for 3 counts, hold for 3, and exhale slowly for 6, all while visualizing gray, old energy leaving you and white, gold light filling you right back up. Your breath is a direct bridge between your body and your spirit. Just doing 7 rounds of this 336 pattern is a gentle but profoundly effective way to release stagnant energy and get your natural glow back. But hey, if you need an immediate nervous system reset, maybe after a particularly draining meeting or a sudden spike in anxiety, you can quickly deploy some rapid-fire physical grounding techniques. These interrupt the stress response and bring your brain back to safety. You can use the 5-4-3-2-1 senses method to anchor yourself, or grab an ice cube and just hold it. Or, surprisingly enough, taste something spicy. It literally physically shocks your senses back into the present moment. You can also touch a tree, hum for 5 minutes, which sounds a little out there, but the sound vibrations actually scatter stale energy. Or just write down all your frustrations and safely burn the page.
Ultimately, the crucial takeaway here is that protecting your capacity to be present is the absolute best way to maintain the quality of your relationships and offer the world your peace. As therapist Annie Wright so beautifully frames it, setting these limits isn't about being selfish. It is an act of absolute integrity. You are actively protecting yourself so that you can show up fully, 100%, for the people and the projects you actually care about.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I have a challenge for you. I want you to pick just one of these techniques, whether it's the zip-up, gray rocking, or that 336 breath work, and reclaim your energy today. You have been holding everything together for so long, and you know what? You are allowed to put some of that heavy energy down. Try it out today and protect your peace. Because if your personal energy is truly your most valuable currency, you've got to ask yourself, how much of it are you giving away for free? And what incredible things could you accomplish if you finally kept it for yourself?